Hello, friends. Good evening, everybody. Um, as you know, especially my single friends know that I gave a talk on the blessings and how to create the blessings in our normal daily lives a couple days ago. Uh, After that, I got few requests that, hey, Venerable Chandima, why would you not give a talk? Why would you not give the same talk in uh, English? So then I thought that, okay, I would give a talk in couple more days after that day. So here I'm going to give that talk. So today we're going to talk about blessings and how to manifest those blessings according to the Buddha. So now this topic is very important because a lot of people think that they just concern about receiving blessings from the blessed people. It's okay, no problem. But Buddha says you need to take it to a next level, further stage, that is to create or manifest blessings in your life. If you are not making that happen, I don't think that would be a good thing for your life. That's why you might be sometimes not succeeding according to these spiritual teachings. So there are 38 blessings according to the Buddha. So let's take a look at those 38 and see what could be the potential ways of putting them into practice. So I would use the sutra called Mahāmaṅgala Sutta, the same sutra that I used on that day for my singular talk. So in that sutra, Buddha talks about 38 blessings, and let's take a look at those 38. The first blessing is not to associate with the unwise people. Now we want to take a look of this unwise person. Who is the unwise person? Unwise person means an individual whose actions, words, thoughts are those actually not good actually in terms of spirituality. If someone is to kill other people, if someone is to steal other people's stuff, if someone is to misbehave in the sensual pleasures, so that's one part of that unwise person. The other part of the unwise person is if one is to lie all the time, if one is to use harsh words all the time, or sometimes if one is to slander, if one is an idle chatter, sometimes all the time. So that's another part of understanding or identifying an unwise person. Also, if someone is always very greedy or sometimes very greedy, if someone is entertaining thoughts of assassinating, killing other people, if someone is not on the harmonious view, we call right view, that's the other part. So there are three parts that you could use to identify an unwise person. So the opposite is the wise person. So Buddha says the first blessing that we have to create in our life is to not trying to associate an individual who is called an unwise person, who is always bad, with his words, with his actions, with his thoughts, right? So that's the first blessing. I think this is the starting point of the blessings, at which we don't pay much attention to. So if we don't find a good person, like a wise person, and then we let's say we try to start our friendships, our life with an unwise person, that means we are in trouble, right? So we should not let that happen in our life. So let's try to make a connection with a wise person, right? So that's the first blessing. The second blessing, the blessing number 2, is to associate a wise person. So that's the opposite of the unwise person. Blessing number 3 is to we call it puja pujaniyanam. That means actually to honor those who are worthy of honor. People can be eligible for this respect or honor in multiple ways. So we have to take a look of those all angles and then respect or honor such people. If you are not honoring the right person or the best choice of who is to be eligible, who needs that respect, so I think we lose that blessing in our life. So this could be something that could lies in our house or at work. Sometimes we don't have any control to do this, but in our smaller level or in our other levels, we should try to honor the people who need to be honored in our life. So that would be a blessing. So that's the third blessing that we need to make happen, manifest in our life. Blessing number 4 is to live in a suitable locality. This locality could be a country or a neighborhood or a place or a city or whatever, the place where you're going to actually live for some time. Now, in modern times, we could say it could be a crime-free neighborhood. It could be a place where you could develop with your spirituality. You could actually think like that. So this place that you're gonna live for some time should be a place that you could focus yourself. You could actually grow spiritually and materially. Blessing number 5 is to have good karmas that you have done in the past or now, so that you could develop positively. Let's say we need to actually execute good karmas all the time. Don't worry about the past. We need to create good karmas all the time. Like some people want to relate themselves. Okay, I did a bad thing. I did a bad something in the past. That's why I'm like this. So my advice to them is, don't worry. I mean, because you still like creating karmas, whatever the karmas, right? Good or bad, good, bad, neither good or bad, right? So then think that whatever the karma that you do now, do them positively, do them really good to the best of you. So now the blessing number 6 means, the fifth means that whenever you have good karmas you've done now or in the past, that's a blessing in your life, right? So that's what it means. Blessing number 6 means to establish oneself in the morality and confidence and generosity. So morality, confidence and generosity. If someone is to establish oneself in the morality, confidence and generosity, that is a blessing. So if you are not moral, if you are not actually a person of your words, I would put into that context. If you are not a person of your words, or if your actions are not of your words, right? So then you are not moral, right? And then if you are not if you are not a trustworthy person, if you are not if you are not creating trust for other people, if you are not letting other people to trust you, then you might be in trouble. So if you are creating trust, if you are letting other people trust in you, that means it's a blessing. It's really a blessing. So make that happen too. So blessing number 6 means you need to establish yourself in your morality, whatever your good morality, and trust. Build up more trust. Build up more morality and build up more generosity. So generosity is one of the very important things in our life, right? It's a very good important virtue in our life. At least to give a nice smile to other people, at least to be generous by ways of material things, emotional things, mental things, and you could think about many ways of being generous in your context. I don't know what are your contexts are like, but I would say be generous, build more generosity in your life. That would be part of this blessing number 6. So if blessing number 6 means you need to establish yourself in the morality, confidence or trust and generosity. Blessing number 7 is to learn a lot in your life. So learning is not a problem, but I would advise you learn the good things, because we could learn a lot of things, right? Sometimes I think we have a problem, like we have a lot of knowledge, so we don't have another space to learn very good things, right? Like spiritual, moral, good things in our life to grow spiritually, because we've been growing materially so good. So we may need to unlearn some of the knowledge that we have. But I advise you, learn the good things, both the material, whatever it is as required, but let yourself grow in your spirituality, so then you learn a lot of spiritual things about your temperament. Blessing number 8 is to grow in life skills, right? So when we talk about a life skill, it could be multiple things, right? It could be skills related to humanities, social sciences, or it could be normal basic things like cooking, like swimming, playing instruments. Whatever those things actually. Whenever you have an ability to fulfill yourself, to execute whatever those skills to the best of you, that would be a blessing to us. That would be a blessing to all of you. So I would say learn something in its completeness, not just to have something little. That's why there's a saying, little knowledge is always dangerous, right? So then learn something in completeness. So whatever life skill that you can make happen in your life, so that will become a blessing. Blessing number 9 is to be disciplined. Like we need to be disciplined, right? We need to be a calm person, right? That disciplinary section has this politeness, niceness, and all those good things. We need to be polite, we need to be nice, we need to be disciplined to ourselves and to other people. So when we are disciplined, when we are polite, when we are nice to us and to other people, that will manifest another type of blessing. So it's a blessing, okay? Blessing number 10 is to use the words that are not lies, words related to slandering, harsh speech or idle chatting. So use words that are out of those 4. So lying, slandering, idle chatting, and harsh speech that would not cause other people to be bad about your words. Blessing number 11 is to take care of your parents. That's also a blessing. Now, if you take care of your parents, it is a blessing. I don't know, like a lot of people have, some people have some issues, right? But Buddha says we need to take care of our parents. If our parents are alive, we need to take care of them. If they are already dead, we need to transfer good karmas to them. So if you are taking care of your parents who are with you now or far away from you now, or if you transfer good karmas to those parents, those two will create a blessing to your life. Blessing number 12 is to take care of your children. If you are married, then you need to take care of your children. To give them the best education, not even the best education. You need to give them the best qualities that you learn, that you may not have sometimes, right? Because good qualities are very important for your children, kids. So give them the education that has the both material knowledge and the spiritual knowledge. So then it would be a blessing to your life. Blessing number 13 is to take care of your spouse. If you are a husband, take care of your wives to the best of you. And if you are a wife, you're going to take care of your husband. If you are a husband, you take care of your wife. Because if you are not taking care of each other, then what's going to happen is that there would be a tremendous disaster, right? So a lot of issues can come up. So, and if you take care of each other, then that means that action, that positive action, will create a blessings in your life, or manifest a blessing in your life. Blessing number 14 is to engage in activities that would not confuse others. So this is very important to both of our normal actions and our job perspective. So do a job, do an action that would not cause other people confused. I'm not talking about the job side. I'm talking about the normal actions. When you do a good job, you always need to think about whether my actions will confuse other people, whether I mislead other people, right? So be a trustworthy person with your actions. That's another way of manifesting the blessings in your life. Blessing number 15 is the generosity. So generosity could be executed in multiple ways. You could be offering material things to people who are in need, or to the monks or to the monastics. At the same time, there is something called Dharma Dana. The first one is Amisa Dana, you offering things to the venerable monks or the people who are in need. And the second one, called Dharma Dana, means you need to spread the spiritual Dharma across the world, the good things across the world. That's one of the danas, one of the generosities Buddha said. So be generous. That's the blessing which comes under number 15. Blessing number 16 is Dhammacharya. That means you need to execute positive 10 actions. I think I talked about those 10 actions in the first blessing. You need to keep away from 10 things, actually. Not killing, not stealing, not misbehaving, and not lying, not slandering, not using the harsh words, and not being an idle chatter, and not being greedy, not being a person who develops thoughts to assassinate, kill other people, not having any non-harmonious views in your life, right? So if you are not executing those 10, that means you are good. That means you are really good. So you are creating a blessing. You are manifesting a blessing. Blessing number 17 is to actually keep your relatives really good. Make them happy. Make your relatives happy. Sometimes we may have issues, but Buddha says if you can make your relatives happy on your mother's side, on your father's side, that's one of the blessings that you might have. But I don't know whether this will be good to everybody, but Buddha says according to his understanding at that time, it would be a blessing. So anyway, it's a blessing in our life. I mean, those who know that, those of you who have actually relatives, they know that how blessed is it to take care or actually serve things to their relatives. Blessing number 18 is to perform blameless actions. Now, there are actions that are really blamed by the law, and both by the law and both by the spirituality, right? So we have to take a look at the law of the country where we are living. So we need to respect the country law and everything. So we are actually respecting, we need to be a law-abiding citizen on one hand. On the other hand, we need to know whether our actions, our thoughts, our words are actually in line with a spiritual, context that we are connecting to. So Buddha says always double check your actions, your words, your thoughts are actually in line with your spiritual path, right? So then if you are doing that, if you are both respecting the law, and if you are actually respecting your actions, words, and if you are respecting your spiritual context of your actions, then you are manifesting a blessing too. Blessing number 19 is to keep away from bad, really elusive and taking us to a wrong path, deviating us from our spiritual path. So we always get attracted with those bad. We are trying not them actually kind of like take over our positivity, so then we are good. So if you are keeping away from any bad karmas that could come up in your mind, so that's also a blessing according to the Buddha. That's blessing number 19. Now we moving on to the blessing number 20. That's not to get intoxicated. Actually, nowadays we get to hear like a lot of things. People are intoxicated, drunk, and they are making a lot of mess. Buddha says actually, do not take any drinks, any food or any beverages that would cause you, mindless, and you are not mindful about your actions, words, and your thoughts. So all the time, have a moderation in all the activities. Have a moderation to the moderation too, actually. So if you are keeping everything in moderation, you are really, really good. You are making a blessing. You are actually manifesting a blessing. Now think about your body image awareness and your whatever your normal activities. Sometimes you are eating a lot. Sometimes you are drinking a lot. Sometimes you are studying a lot. Sometimes you are working a lot. Sometimes you are working less. Sometimes you are eating less. Sometimes you are less. A lot of people are either on the less side or on the more side. But Buddha says is that try to find your balance. So that is the blessing, right? So that's what Buddha says with the blessing number 20. Blessing number 21 is a diligence, right? We need to be diligent. What are we going to be diligent for? It is to create or manifest good karmas. Actually, all the time we try to see, we want to actually talk about good things, positive good things. We want to execute good actions, positive actions. We want to actually talk about good words and positive words, right? So that is actually being diligent. Otherwise, we just idle chat. We waste our time. We are actually not making the best out of what we have at this point. That's not a blessing. So we need to all the time be productive and to be diligent on the side of the spirituality, right? So try to be diligent. That's a blessing. Blessing number 22 is to be respectful to the people who need the respect. Sometimes we are not respectful about other people. We are not listening to them. We are not respecting. So now think about the relationship between these parents and children and partners and their other partners, spouses. There could be a smaller problem, maybe one of them is not listening to the other person. It's a respect, right? So respect is something that is actually lied at smaller levels, at tiny points. So then you need to really be careful. You need to actually really pay attention to whatever the smallest levels of listening, and then there's respect. Try to find whether you are giving due respect to things, people in your life. If you are not doing that, you are not making a blessing. If you are doing that, then you are manifesting a blessing. That's blessing number 22. Blessing number 23 is to be humble. Now, actually, I like the people who are down to earth, grounded people all the time, because when you are down to earth, you actually on this earth and you talk positivity. You are actually talking about things that exist in here, right? So, and also if you are humble, then a lot of good people get to like you, and you feel like so relaxed. If you are not humble, then that would not make you happy. On a spiritual level, you need to be humble. If you are humble, then that means you are manifesting a blessing. Blessing number 24 is to be happy with whatever you have already. Now, what happens to man is that they are not going to be happy with what they have, but they are going to be unhappy with what they don't have actually. But what Buddha says to us is, be happy with what you have. Maybe this is something really unique to you, because people always look for other people's stuff rather they look at themselves. So do a self-observation before you making that observation to other people. If you are really trying to see what you have, what you achieved so far, then you're going to be really happy, right? Compare yourself with the other people with what you have, not what you don't have. Now, a lot of people that they're going to compare other people. Hey, this person XYZ has something that I don't have, right? So that person is going to be really, really terribly unhappy. So be happy with whatever you have. The reason behind that is you are creating a positivity through that perspective. Because when you think about yourself, hey, I have this thing, see, this is hardly achieved by somebody, right? So you have it, you made it happen. So when you are creating, when you are manifesting that happen, that means you are manifesting that means you have a blessing. Be happy with whatever you have, that's a blessing. Blessing number 25 is to be grateful to anything that you were benefited. It could be a smaller thing. It could be something that is not an individual. It could be a material thing. It could be a person. Be actually grateful, because the Buddha, once he became the Buddha, in the second week he taught us, this great virtue. We need to be grateful. But when you are grateful, you need to know how you're going to be great, how you're going to keep that gratitude in the long run, right? Because people are different, so we need to be very careful in fulfilling our sense of appreciation or gratefulness. That's blessing number 25. Blessing number 26 is to listen to Dharma at the proper time, right? Now, I know people, they actually listen to Dharma actually at times that actually not really good for Dharma. Actually, Dharma is a respectable thing, so you need to have a kind of a prior preparation for the Dharma. So spend a good time for that. If your mind is infested with polluted with unnecessary things, that would not be a good time to learn the Dharma. So try to overcome those bad virtues, and then try to focus on Dharma. That's the blessing number 26. Blessing number 27 is to be patient. Actually, patience is a very important, great quality in us. Now think about, if you are really patient in your life, you could achieve a lot of things. If you are not patient, if you are impatient, more than you are supposed to be, then you'll be in trouble. So try to be patient. That's a blessing. Learn from the people who were patient and then made many things happen in their lives. So it's a good thing too. And Buddha always tells us, be patient. Sometimes we need time to heal things in our people, right? We can't do just in a day, or just in 2-3 weeks, or just in a month. Sometimes we need time. Sometimes we just need to give some time to such things to happen, right? Good things to happen, right? So blessing number 28 is to be able to open up for the people who can really give you a personal guidance, advice. Sometimes we are not opening up for anybody. We're really actually disobedient, so that we might miss on a very good piece of advice. Let's say if you have a really good friend, be open to that friend. Then actually that will really help you a lot in actually developing your character, developing your temperament. Don't think that you know everything in this universe. None of us actually knows everything in this world. Be open up for someone who can really shows you the real good path, probably your mistakes, your failures. If you are opening up for such a person, that means you are manifesting a blessing. Blessing number 29 is to make some time to see the good people, the blessed people, right? It could be a monk, or it could be he could be a monk, she could be a nun, maybe a religious figure, maybe a good person in your life. So make some time to see such people, associate with them. So then you will be blessed with them, right? So that's one of the other ways of manifesting blessing. Maybe that is what you come to temple and then you get blessings. That is what you go to a place, maybe a church, maybe a mosque, maybe I don't know, wherever you go, and then you receive the blessings from those people, right? So that's also a blessing. Blessing number 30 is to make Dhamma discussions, with the people and at the right time. Sometimes you are going to engage with other people about Dharma at the wrong time, right? So as I told you, you are manifesting a blessing when you are listening to Dharma at the right time. At the same time, I want to actually remind you that you need to engage in Dhamma discussions at the right time, good time, right? When you are really, really good to talk about them, when we are really, really good to have those discussions, when we are really, really with the people who can discuss such good things, That's the blessing number 30. Blessing number 31 is to strive on good things so that you are overcoming the bad things. You need the good effort, actually. You need good effort. Probably you need to develop your effort day by day, moment by moment, hour by hour, day by day, right? Because if you are losing interest in the right effort, then you might be in trouble. You might be into the bad karma. So you need to, have some effort to keep away from the bad karma. That's a blessing. Now, the rest of the blessings from number 32 to number 38, they are mostly related to the people who already attained the Nibbana, actually. But we will take a look. Blessing number 32 is Brahmacharya. That means celibacy. Now, actually celibacy is a good thing, but not to the lay people. To the monastics, that's called the highest way of living, actually. So if someone is to the celibacy, in this monastic context, that gives a blessing, actually. Blessing number 33 is to Arya Satchana Dasanam. If somebody if somebody is to try to see the Four Noble Truth, if somebody is already engaged in understanding Four Noble Truth, if somebody is already into the Four Noble Truth, that creates a blessing too. Four Noble Truths are dissatisfaction, the cause of dissatisfaction, and then the cessation of the dissatisfaction, and the path leading to the cessation of the dissatisfaction. Those are the Four Noble Truths. And blessing number 34 is becoming awakened. We call nirvana. If someone is already into nirvana, so it's a blessing, right? Highest blessing. Blessing number 35 is to have an ability so that you are not shaken at 8 types of things in your life. Let's say you are complimented today, you are, criticized constructively the next day. If you are famed, if you are defamed, if you are profited, if you are lost, if you are happy, if you are unhappy, and whatever the type of situation that I mentioned just before, you are not shaken, you are not wavered. Actually, you know that these are just situations. What I want to do is to keep my balance all the time. So if you can keep the balance out of all those 8 situations, that means you are good, you have a blessing, you are manifesting a blessing. Blessing number 36 is to have a mind out of sorrow. Now actually, most of the time we are not happy actually. So we are actually sorrowful about things that happen to us and to the things that we like and to the people that we like. But Buddha says if our mind is actually out of sorrow, out of lamentation, out of weeping, that's a blessing. Actually, that is something related to the path of ego that we discussed last Sunday. Anyway, so have a mind out of sorrow. That's a blessing. That's how you're going to make the blessing happen. Blessing number 37 is to have a mind out of defilements, right? There are 3 types of, root type defilements, which we call raga, dosa, moha, or actually greed, hatred, and delusion. So if we can actually reduce the amount of greed, hatred, delusion, and then that means we are really, really manifesting blessings. If you are letting them grow in your life, if you are letting your greed grow, if you are letting your hatred grow, if you are letting your delusion, ignorance, not knowing the Four Noble Truth grow, that means you are not manifesting a blessing, right? You're in trouble. Just try to develop, thoughts of not developing those 3, greed, hatred, delusion, ignorance. The last blessing, the 38, the blessing number 38 is to have a path that is on the 4 things, that is on the opposite of the 4 things. There are 4 things: the flood of sensual desire, the flood of rebirth, flood of wrong view, of non-harmonious view, flood of ignorance. So Buddha says, if we are onto the flood of sensual desire, we're in trouble. If we always try to bring us out of that flood, right? That is sensual desire. Actually, this is discussed at the ultimate level, like on a higher spiritual level, especially for the people who already attained the Nibbana. So, because sensual desire is a flood. Rebirth, because we are reborn, we've been reborn so far, it's a flood. Non-harmonious view is a flood, that's why we still exist. And ignorance is the root cause of everything. So that's a flood. So Buddha says, if someone is trying to take that person out of these 4, then that will create a blessing too. So actually, these 30 this list is the 38 types of blessings that we need to manifest in our life. I hope that we are trying. We need to actually manifest these 38 in our life. Otherwise, we are not creating or manifesting blessings in our lives, right? So that's a very important thing. So I would advise you, while you are receiving blessings from the blessed people, try to manifest blessings in your life. Otherwise, you might feel, hey, I'm not actually growing in my spirituality, in my materiality as well, actually. So then try to grow in the positive, spirituality, and then with those 38 blessings, and your life will be actually success every day. And then at the end, you could understand the core things of the Dharma, and then that will lead you to understanding the Nibbana at the end. Okay, so thank you for listening. I hope that you learned something. Hopefully, we will talk about a nice topic again in the future. Thank you.